Hello, Camilla. Welcome to Dr. Joe's vocab class. Today is Saturday, June 29th, 2024. So we're going to get started with our new definitions for this week. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and read this. You can read the entire slide since we don't have any other students joined yet. So you can read the slide.
Approval. Approval, noun. Acceptance of a plan or idea. Consent when someone agrees to receive, accept something, or take something willingly. The teacher gave her a approval for the class trip, making the students very excited. Bustle. Verb. Busy, a lot of noise, activity, conversation, energetic activity or movement. The school cafeteria was filled with bustle of the students chatting and grabbing their lunches. Civil, active, courteous, well-behaved, polite, and respect in behavior. Even though they disagreed, they kept their conversation civil and listened to each other's opinions. Compensation, noun, rush.
No, I was just telling you this is commotion, sorry.
Commotion, rush, lots of activity, bustle, lots of noise and confusion. There was a lot of commotion in the hallway when the fire alarm went off during class.
Thank you so much. So this is commotion, which you see down here as well. This is courteous. So I'll go through each definition first, actually. And welcome to the class, Jack. Sorry. Okay, so approval means either you accept a plan or an idea. It's like you're giving permission. Um, when someone agrees to receive something, accept something, or take something is pretty much what approval is. And it's willingly, so they want to do it, like they are okay with it. Bustle means busy, a lot of noisy activity that's going on. Commotion is another word for busy or energetic activity or movement. So you'll see that bustle and commotion are the same thing. They're just synonyms of each other. Okay. So when they say in that sentence, the school cafeteria was filled with the bustle of students chatting and grabbing their lunches. The cafeteria is never going to be quiet. And if it is, it's probably during class time when there's nobody in the cafeteria. So cafeteria is like a lunchroom. It's more, I believe, when you're in your secondary or high school is when you'll be able to see cafeterias. You'll be exposed to a cafeteria where you'll sit with the all your friends. Whereas I think in your regular schools right now, like your uh, primary schools, you have to eat lunch in your classroom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how it was for me. You eat lunch in your classroom and then you go outside to play. Um, but bustle is pretty much busy, a lot of noisy activity. Oh my god, activity. Sorry, is what bustle means. Civil means courteous. Sorry, that means polite, respectful. So these are just synonyms, like pretty much of what civil means, which is courteous, well behaved, polite, and respectful behavior. Courteous is also polite and respectful and considerate in manner. So even if people disagree, so in this sentence, sorry, even though they disagreed, they kept their conversation civil and listened to each other's opinion. So even though they didn't agree with the same thing, they still kept their conversation very polite and respectful to each other. and just listen to each other's opinions. Normally, in a disagreement, you'll see a lot of yelling, but in this sentence, it's more so they were being polite and respectful with one of each other's. Even though they disagreed, they were still like wanting to listen to each other's opinions and just um, being polite about it. Okay. Commotion, same thing as bustle, means rush, lots of activity, a lot of noise and confusion. So in this case, you can say there was a lot of commotion in the hallway when the fire alarm went off during the class. So either or bustle or commotion would work in a sentence as well. Okay? Do you guys have any questions in regards to these vocabulary words, the meanings, definition, or sorry, sentences? No? Okay, so you guys have 5 minutes to write a paragraph using all four words. I'll give you guys one more minute. Whenever you're ready, you can paste in your responses. You can paste in your responses now. You don't, if you're not finished, that's okay. We'll correct what you have. Give me a few minutes to just correct your responses, okay?
Teacher, I have a sentence back this part.
Yes, thank you. Okay, good job with your paragraphs. So the both of you, you both have grammatical errors in your paragraphs. So make sure that when you're using past tense, you're using your words in past tense. And if you're using present tense, you're using present tense grammar. So for example, let's say when you're talking about the past, you want to say were. If you're talking about the, let's see which one I can actually use. So here we cannot live in the country anymore. They're talking about right now. Long time ago, you're talking about the past. There was a country where many people were busy with their work. So you're talking in the past. So you would use were. Okay. But good job with your paragraphs. So now moving on to our next set of words. Since Camilla read the entire slide, Jack, you can read the entire slide when you're ready.
Consent, agreement, approval, giving permission or agreeing to something. The doctor asked for the patient's consent before starting the treatment.
This is patience.
Patients. Corridor, passageway, hallway, long, narrow passage in a building or tree, train. Typical, a type of train typically with rooms on either side. The students hurried through the corridor to get their next class on time. Drenched, completely wet, soaked. We got caught in the rain without an umbrella and were drenched by the time we reached home. Fumble, to drop or handle poorly, clumsily, clumsily, or awkwardly, especially dropping or mishandling it. He fumbled with the keys in the dark, struggling to unlock the door.
Thank you so much. So consent means that you're giving an agreement. You're giving permission or agreeing to someone or some, or agreeing to someone with it's actually agreeing to something, not someone, sorry. So you're agreeing to something, someone about something. You're giving the permission. So usually when it comes to a treatment for, let's say, your leg got twisted or something, and you have to do treatment, you have to give them the doctor consent, meaning like you have to give them agreement uh, or permission as well. So you're pretty much signing papers to agree to doing that treatment. So your leg gets better. Another example is when you're, let's say, need to go to a field trip. Sometimes your teacher might ask you for your parents' approval, like permission, consent. So they'll give you a letter that your parents will have to sign, and that's them agreeing to you going on this field trip. So that's like another form of consent. Corridor is in your building at school, you'll see a long passageway. So just that long from one end to the other end is called a corridor. And there's like rooms, so the classrooms are on either side, or there might be lockers on one side, or like even like your jacket hangers backpacks where you can leave outside and then, classrooms on the other side. So that's what that means. Drenched is when you're completely wet, you're completely soaked, and you normally get drenched when you're like outside walking maybe, and then it starts to rain and you don't have an umbrella, then you get completely soaked because for a good, now that I see, like we usually get rain that lasts for a bit, like 5 minutes, and then it'll be sunny. So that's Mother Nature for us, but um that's what drenched means. Fumble is you're you're not very there's quite a few. So it's either you're not, can't think of a way to say this. Okay, here. So you don't do it in a graceful way. You're like wobbling around, and then you drop stuff, and then you're clumsy. Clumsy means like um you're like swaying, side to side, and like usually when you have like a migraine, you kind of like fumble because you get so clumsy because you can't really see, like your head is hurting, you can't see it, and you're like wobbling around. That's what clumsy means. And then that also how that because you're clumsy, it causes more accidents, or you're dropping stuff that you're probably holding, or you're making mistakes, or you're tripping and falling. Okay, so that's what fumble is. So when they say he fumbled with the keys in the dark, struggling to unlock the car, that means he was not like holding it stiff. He was like, he wasn't holding it properly, that it was shaking for him when he was trying to unlock the door because it was dark outside. Okay, do you guys have any questions in regards to any of these words or meaning sentences? Anything you need me to explain more? No? Okay, so I take that as you know what the words mean. But so now you have 5 minutes to write a paragraph using all four of those words. If you need any more clarification, let me know. Either whether you want to mute your mic or you want to message me through the chat, you can direct message me as well. So you have 5 minutes again. You guys have 2 more minutes. So again, whatever paragraph you have, go ahead and paste that in the chat. You guys can just paste in your paragraphs. It doesn't matter if you haven't finished it. That's okay. Paste in what you have or enter in whatever you have. Okay. Because of time, we only have 1 minute left. I'll let you know about your homework. You might see slides. You might see some words that I will not be including in the slides because we haven't got the chance to go through the last slide. So you can answer what you know. If you don't know the answer to there should be at least one, two, maybe of those, three of those the words that we have learned are going to be on this, like you'll be able to find on the slides. But for whatever answer you don't know, we're going to be learning those words next week, and the answers are on the slide after this. So just make sure that you read those 8 vocab words that we have learned today, and then answer this homework exercise, and then check your answers on the next slide, okay? So whenever you both are done writing your paragraphs, if you will be writing your paragraphs or submitting them in, you can submit them and then you can leave the class because this is all for today's class. So whenever you guys are ready to submit your responses, you can go ahead and submit it, and then you can leave the class and I will edit the responses and you'll see them in the slides when you receive them. You Camilla, you can leave this class. You won't receive the correction will be in the today's slides, because class is done now. The homework is displayed on the very third last slide. You'll have to read the slides again and then answer the questions. And once you have answered them, then you check your work on the next slide. Okay? So seems that Jack has already left. So in this case, Camilla, I will be ending this class and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.